I must become better, more successful, richer, or change, achieve, obtain. I must do better than yesterday, the day before, a week, a month ago. I must prove it to myself. I absolutely have to do this. Probably those who are listening to me right now know exactly what this is and can clearly feel how exhausting, destructive, and draining it is. Although in reality we thought this would motivate us. And when I do it, I will be nourished, filled by it, and it will give me even more resources. And indeed, this is connected to expectations, and expectations first and foremost of ourselves. And the point is, as soon as we are born, we are already expecting. But why do some expectations inspire us, nourish us, fill us up, and truly give us energy, while other expectations only destroy us, even though we think it's something good for us? Greetings to all the viewers of this video. Today we will try to delve deeply into this complex topic. I will share some of my own deeply personal experience and understanding of this topic because first and foremost, it concerns me as well. And it also concerns the large number of people, tens of thousands, thousands of people with whom I have personally worked in my profession, in my practice, in therapy, among other things. And I understand that the issue of obligation in many ways destroys a person. And today I want to share my thoughts with you. Yes, how can we understand which expectations are genuine and which expectations and obligations are actually destroying me? And I really want to, and one more very important comment, this is the most important thing in our work. In about 5 minutes, you will experience a very deep therapeutic process, a therapeutic session. This is my own signature practice where we will be working specifically with those exhausting, depleting expectations you have of yourself with all those shoulds, because in reality, that is a road to nowhere. But let's break everything down step by step. First of all, it's really important to understand that from the moment we are born, we already have expectations. We expect that someone will come to us. We expect that someone will feed us, give us love, acceptance, and so on. All of us are connected to certain expectations. And having expectations is normal, because when I wake up, I realize that I want to experience certain things today, to feel something, to meet someone, to talk to someone, to achieve some result, to bring about some changes, accomplishments, and so on. I have expectations about who I will be, how I will express myself, what I will receive. I have expectations about what people will be like, and so on. In other words, expectations are inevitable because while being in the present, no matter how you look at it, we are all looking toward the future. It's just that this future can inspire some people, while for others it can be frightening, intimidating, and so on. And expectation is a certain element of our focus, our attention. But why do some expectations help us while others destroy us? Here I want to draw a very fine line. What is exhausting these I musts in many cases? How do we understand that in reality this is destroying me? Because we can feel it perfectly well inside ourselves. Yes, you feel that it drains you, that it is more associated with some kind of heaviness, with some kind of obligation. And rather, well, it's not really a motivation for growth. It's more like something I must do, as if it's some kind of compensation. As if by means of what you must change, become better, be different, achieve, obtain, and so on. As if through this sense of duty, these expectations of yourself, you are trying to compensate for some of your shortcomings. It's as if you're trying to use this to hide from some of your own feelings, from some of your worries. It's as if you're trying to avoid the realization of some fear that maybe, God forbid, something might happen. And you understand perfectly well that what you owe, the expectations you have of yourself, they don't nourish you at all. They don't inspire or motivate you. But at the same time, it's as if, you can't let them go. And when you start to explore this topic more deeply, you begin to reflect. Why do I have to? Why do I need to show better results than yesterday? It's hard to reach any kind of clarity. And it becomes even scarier, even more frightening when a person substitutes their true goals, needs, and desires with some kind of obligation, with things they feel they must do. And he starts convincing himself that what he must do, who he must become, how he must work, and what results he must achieve are all necessary. He tries to convince himself that this is truly his own path. And that's frightening because the outcome is always the same: exhaustion, fatigue, resistance, but a lack of vibrancy, flexibility, lightness, desire, and so on. and you try to figure out, maybe I'm not resting enough, or maybe I just need to enjoy the process more, or maybe I just need to change something. But in reality, it's all much simpler. You're simply doing something that doesn't resonate with you inside. You're not doing it because you want to, but because you're trying to use it to avoid something. Often, as I've already mentioned, it's some kind of fear, some kind of worry, an attempt to avoid facing a deep inner feeling, anxiety, and so on. And that's frightening, because as a result, you end up doing things that never truly fulfill you. It looks, like a kind of vicious cycle, a closed loop that's very hard to break out of. And the reason this happens is because often hidden within what we feel we must do is a very deep unconscious motive. And this drives us not through clarity of mind, not through understanding these processes or tasks, but through these are unconscious processes that, first and foremost, are connected to your inner experiences. When I analyzed myself deeply, I noticed, and I'll share this story with you, that I always felt I had to keep working all the time, had to keep striving, had to do everything better practices, conduct more sessions, create more value. I realized that this sense of obligation is simply connected to the fact that deep down, I'm actually afraid of facing self-criticism, and what often lies at the root of this sense of obligation that destroys us in these kinds of unhealthy feelings. Let's connect obligations, the things we must do, the things we feel we have to do, with the expectations we have of ourselves. What is behind all of this? In reality, behind all of this is, first and foremost, a feeling of inadequacy, a sense that there is something wrong with you. This is connected as if to self-love, the idea that I can't love myself simply for existing. It may also be related to dissatisfaction with oneself, as if there's constant criticism if I don't do something, as if I can't relax, as if I can't accept myself as I am. If you go there, for example, look deeper, I'll just share my own story. Well, you can see that you felt loved only when you had to do something, when you achieved something, when you made others happy, when you became someone, and only then did you seem to experience that feeling of love. Although that's an illusion too. There is no love on this path. You could only allow yourself to relax, to feel at peace when you had accomplished something, and it always felt like you had to be someone, to strive for something, to achieve something, if only for the reason of not feeling inner anxiety, not feeling tension, just so you could somehow allow yourself to relax afterwards. You have to prove yourself because you feel that who you are is not who you're supposed to be. And again, you're obliged to prove something. We carry this into our work, into our finances, into our relationships, into our personal growth and so on. But as a result, all we end up collecting in life is fatigue and exhaustion. And I can tell you, based on my own observations, that all our difficulties are, first and foremost, connected to our childhood and adolescent psyche. That is, when we are stuck in our childhood or teenage years, when we were not yet autonomous or independent, when we were not self-sufficient, and we relied heavily on what was happening around us. First and foremost, we looked to our mother, our father, and other people who were very dear and important to us. We focused on them, on their experiences, their feelings, their states, on what was happening to them. Then we grew up a little and became teenagers. We started to pay more attention to our peers. Yes, we began to look up to those authorities, important people, and continued the same patterns. Patterns that, in many ways, had started in early childhood and so on. And since we didn't have that independence yet, we strove to be recognized, loved, accepted, important, as if we were trying to change ourselves. Because at that age, we still didn't have a sense of our own uniqueness, self-sufficiency, or authenticity. We didn't understand who we were, so it was as if we tried to fit into certain labels, certain rules, certain conditions, and so on. And this gave rise within us to a whole bunch of these destructive beliefs and conditions. What if? And what if only then, only when I do this, and so on, right? As if I could satisfy these basic feelings, needs, experience these emotions, states, and so on. And inevitably, we end up caught in this closed dose loop. And believe me, this affects many people, both those who haven't achieved much in life and those who are very wealthy and successful, but at the same time very unhappy, and so on. I think that those people who are listening to me right now, they largely feel what I'm talking about and understand it to a great extent. So if these meanings that I'm talking about really resonate with you, and there's a lot that could be said on this topic, but since many people probably don't like to listen for too long, and nowadays it's common to hear something and immediately think, okay, but what do I do with this? How do I apply it? That's exactly why you're now going to move on to a practical exercise that I conducted for participants in one of the therapeutic groups of my metamorphosis program, which I lead. I want to share this practice with you as well so that you can do it, work through it, and address those exhausting, draining expectations you have of yourself. Those things you feel you must do, and those things that deep down you know are destroying you, but you somehow can't let go of. I am confident that this will bring you a healing effect, a healing result. I am sure that you will definitely succeed. How will the practice go now? Together with you, you together with me and with other participants whose recordings I made there. You will. Now immerse yourself a little into a well, you get it, a certain state. To do this, we will do a breathing exercise. You will attune yourself, you will get involved, and in this work, it is very important to trust your feelings and sensations. I will guide you in a certain way. Trust what your body tells you. Just feel. If something is unclear to you, pause the video. And if necessary, go back. But most importantly, try to make it to the end, especially if you are a first-time Okok-in listener to my channel or doing one of my practices for the first time. You need to be extra attentive and definitely give it a try. And I am sure that by the end, you will definitely get a result, which you will surely share with me. Leave a comment because it is very important for me to get feedback and to understand what is happening. But if you find this valuable, I would be glad to see your comment, your like, and your subscription to my channel. And some of you might want to get closer to collaborate in some way, or perhaps join my personal therapy or individual guidance and so on. You can also reach out to me. And for those who are ready to go deeper and work more intensively, there is a link to my channel in the description, to my profile channel on Telegram. Yes, in the description below this video. There is also a lot of interesting content there. You can read it and so on. And I wish you a great experience as you do the practice, a deep engagement with it, and a tremendous sense of liberation, lightness, joy, calm, pleasure, and a true awareness of your real needs and desires, your genuine expectations that truly inspire and nourish you rather than destroy you. So, take a moment to think about which expectations you have of yourself, especially the ones that drain you the most. Expectations you place on yourself exhaust you. It's as if you really, without question, have to do it. You have to be a certain way, become someone. Why do you feel this as pressure on yourself? Because when you look deeper at these expectations you have of yourself, you'll see that the real motive is more about avoiding something. It's as if through these expectations, you don't want to face something. You don't want to feel a certain way, to experience yourself in a certain way. As if with the help of these expectations of yourself, you want to deal with something inside yourself. To avoid something. And these expectations of yourself seem like something that will give you that opportunity. but it feels like a heavy burden, like an obsessive thought, like a weight, a pressing feeling on your neck, on your shoulders, on your chest. And you might notice that because of this, you seem to lack relaxation. You lack peace. Because it's as if you can't let something go. You can even feel right now how these expectations affect not only you, but also your body. Feel it. Feel these expectations of yourself in your body. Really examine in detail right now what exactly you're feeling there, okay? Do you feel this heavy burden in your body? Don't rush, just feel it. So, the first thing you need to understand is that if you're already feeling pressure on yourself, then something is definitely off. It's not really yours. Because any expectation that isn't destructive for you doesn't weigh you down. It creates a sense of lightness. And now I want you to imagine, just picture it, that from today on, you completely let go of control. You let go of these expectations of yourself. That's it. From today on, you no longer expect this. You are free from it. You are free. Just imagine it. That's it. You're free. What's wrong? What fear comes up right away? What worries appear? As soon as I told you, you could get an answer right away, immediately. I want you to really feel it. I'm talking to you very seriously right now. Deep down, you know you don't want this. You don't want it the way you should. And you would gladly refuse, but if what didn't exist, if there weren't certain consequences that you're afraid of, this is all very serious. Because by not doing this, you'll keep draining yourself further and further with these expectations you have of yourself. And deep inside, you'll know, I really don't want this. I'm so tired of this. But you'll keep doing it, as if to avoid facing certain consequences. What kind of feelings? Saw? Did you realize it? Tell me, please. What do you honestly seem to feel if you stop expecting things from yourself, even for a moment? How does your body react? You stopped expecting. Maybe this will happen. So, how does your body react to that? It reacts to the fact that such consequences might happen. For example, if I stop feeling obligated to do this, pay attention to where in your body this feeling lives. What's there? Pain, a blow, a hole, emptiness. Feel it. Am I right in understanding it? That the fear of these sensations, of facing them, makes you expect things from yourself? Do you see the connection now? The connection between these feelings in your body and the need to expect things from yourself. Expectations so as not to face such sensations within yourself, not to face such a feeling. Who just realized this? Yes. Then, now, see what image you have of this sensation that you're afraid to face. Maybe you'll see this sensation in some way. What does it look like? This is to anchor it more deeply within yourself. Now focus on this sensation in your body, on this image, if you can see it. Tune into it. Realize that this feeling, as it lives inside you, it has a reason, and it wants to tell you something, to give you something, to help or protect you. Realize that every feeling you have matters. I see you. I am with you. I hear you. I can feel you. I sense you perfectly. Look at it, at the feeling. I acknowledge your presence. I allow you to be. After all, I understand that you want to be inside me for some reason. All this time, you have been familiar to me. Familiar as a sensation. I know you well. Tell me, why do you want me to expect such results from myself? Whatever comes to your mind right now. Why do you want me to expect such results from myself? As if, what is this supposed to give me? Answer me. Why does it seem like you're trying to protect me? Uh-huh. Super. Thank you. Well then, Please tell me, when did you first appear in my life as this feeling, the one that truly pushes me to have such expectations of myself? When, at what moment in time, did you first show up? Just listen. It will now gently and carefully lead you to that specific point in your life when it first appeared. As if after what events did it appear, my dears? How do I know that this is it exactly? Do you feel a response inside? You can feel a response inside yourself right now. This feeling is like an emotional defense. It appeared after something significant happened in your life. Yes, I want you to see now which child or adolescent part is there. Which part of you is it? What are you like? Are you a child or more of a teenager? Try to make contact with your part now. Look at it. Look at this part of yourself. You can even imagine placing it in front of you on the table and look at it with your eyes open to feel it even more clearly. This is its feeling. This is its defense in the form of this feeling. It's from this part that such expectations of yourself have arisen. See it for yourself. Looking at it, try to understand after what kind of shock. Or maybe when you see a series of different shocks, it is after these moments that such expectations of yourself appeared or began to form. What happened? What was the cause? I want you to recall some kind of shock. Maybe one of them, the one that led, yes, to such expectation, after which this defensive feeling appeared, right? And then such expectations of yourself. Now, look at what happened. Examine that event if you can see it. Look at it closely. Imagine that moment when you just saw or heard it right there. The moment when it happened. The moment of that shock. The moment when it happened. Recall it if you can see it. The first internal reaction surprise, shock. From what you saw or heard, right now you are looking at that version of yourself, carefully and thoughtfully observing and seeing what happened, almost as if through their own eyes, experiencing it all over again. You can feel their shock right now. And most importantly, feel that first reaction in your body right now. A freeze, piercing pain, or numbness, maybe even an out-of-body experience. After which came confusion. Not understanding what to do. Not understanding what to do. And this might be a brief state of shock with that bodily reaction and that confusion. And only then can you see how certain feelings and emotions flooded in when you started thinking about what happened. But right now, the only thing that matters is that first reaction in their body. There's an initial shock, the moment when they saw it. Do you see this moment? Do you feel this moment in your body? Just go into the sensations. Now be there with him. Right now, you are there with him. He is no longer alone. You, as an adult, are there with him now. You can clearly feel what he is feeling. You are experiencing this in your body right now. This is what later triggered such strong waves and defenses and fears. Say to him, I see you. I am with you. I am here. I hear you. I feel everything you feel. These sensations are truly so deeply familiar to me. I am always right here with you. All this time I have known you. And all this time I have felt the same as you. I have come to this moment just to be with you, to share this feeling with you. But know that nothing will happen. This will pass. It will get easier for you. You can handle this. Be sincere. Right now, there is no one else around except you, only you. Your sincerity, your honesty, your involvement, your willingness to share, to support, and to accept your part as it is, this is key. How are you helping him get through this initial shock right now? What are you doing? Because if you help to cope with this shock, then what won't happen next? There won't be that confusion, and there won't be those intense emotions. There won't be that fear. So, how are you helping your part to get through this shock? What are you doing right now? You hug her, you stroke her. You can say, let's go through this shock together. Let's do it together. It'll be easier. Let's experience this feeling together. Do you feel how it gets easier? What would you, as an adult, say to that part of yourself? What does she really need to know? Ooh, how can she understand? What happened? Take a moment to truly reflect and speak with complete sincerity, letting your words come directly from the deepest part of your heart. Imagine you are standing before her with nothing to hide and no barriers between you. If you could express your genuine feelings to her right now, honestly and openly, what would you want to say? Tell her what she needs to hear and know, what she couldn't understand back then. What can you promise her? What can you promise? What can you give? What can you explain? How would she go through this confusion with you now? This initial reaction in her body, how would she experience it? Do you see how? Take a slow, deep breath and gently bring your awareness to your body. Notice any small sensations or subtle shifts, like the feeling of your chest rising and falling, the air moving in and out, or a gentle tingling in your hands or feet. Simply observe how something, even if it's very slight, is changing in your body right now. Feel how the sensation in your body is changing, how your attitude toward what happened is changing. Notice now how your attitude toward what happened is changing. How is she feeling now? You can see that instead of weakness, strength is emerging. Instead of fragmentation, there is wholeness. Moreover, as she starts to feel better, what new beliefs do you want to instill in her? convey. To replace old beliefs with new ones. The old ones are those that supported this trauma. The new ones are, in essence, those that explain what happened or gives her an understanding about herself. Well, so, how is she feeling? Better? Did you manage to deal with that feeling inside? Now try to imagine once again what happened. That initial reaction. Imagine in your mind that this happened. How do you react now together with your part? Has anything changed? Do you see your attitude and your part's attitude? Now, very quickly, if your part feels lighter, let's at least try to understand why it used to expect this from itself. Even earlier, why did it expect this from itself? Was it just to avoid feeling something, perhaps? To not feel a certain way about itself? Or so that something wouldn't happen? Now, the emotional wave may have already passed, but let's try to understand why it expected this from itself. After those events, that happened. Did you realize it? You can also, you can also now recognize in which particular moments of your life you expected something like this from yourself. In which specific moments in your life did you expect this from yourself the most? But now I want to ask you, do you still need these expectations? Do you, or rather, does your part still need these exact expectations? In this format, presented in this way? How do you feel? How does that part of you feel about it? Does she really want to do it this way? Right now, she doesn't have a response to that. Does she currently feel a connection between her expectations of herself and the idea that something is wrong with her or that something might happen? Is there any such connection now? There shouldn't be one now. Then I want to ask, whose expectations were these? From whom? Ah, so you, or rather your part, took on exactly these expectations of yourself. From whom? After all, that part couldn't have come up with it on its own. From whom did she take on such expectations of herself? Or maybe someone even imposed them on her. Who did the teenager look up to? From whom did this teenager pick this up? From whom? Whose expectations are these? How is one supposed to be? After all, these expectations, they weren't really yours, were they? They existed. They felt like a burden. which means they weren't yours to begin with. They didn't feel light, so they didn't come from you, but from someone else. Picture that person in front of you. This isn't mine. I took this from you. I have no complaints or accusations against you, but I want to give them back to you because they are yours and they belong to you. And if you feel that this person really did expect this from you, those of you who sense this, you can even say to them, I'm returning this for your own wholeness. And now, whether in the first or the second case, energetically and metaphorically give back these expectations, return them to where you took them from. Simply observe this process. Feel now how something changes as you give them back. And now, if you also had expectations regarding the person from whom you took them, if any of you also had expectations of that person, if that's the case, maybe it doesn't apply to everyone. So, what were your expectations? Therefore, for your own wholeness, I suggest you also return your own energy in the form of expectations. Return it now. If there is something that you forbade yourself, something you gave up after those events, to meet your own expectations of yourself, then think about it. Don't rush. Feel it. Is there something you denied yourself? Something you forbade yourself? This is something very clear, obvious, important. If it happened, what did you forbid yourself, if anything? And what did it just give you? What did it give you? What did that which you forbade yourself give you while it was still available to you? You can also return it to yourself as if it's energy. Energetically bring it back to yourself. Let it back in. What was forbidden? I want to ask you, do you feel the need to experience these feelings now, to let them into your life here and now? Or is there no need for that? Just think about it for yourself. What was forbidden? Is there a need to experience them now? Or did you just need to get them back for your own wholeness? Well, then, take a look at your part now. Is it ready to give you back the responsibility for what you expected from yourself? And secondly, look at it as an adult. What do you think? Will these expectations of yourself remain? Or will they perhaps somehow change or remain the same? Or maybe it's not yours at all and you don't need it right now? Then what will be, or what will take its place? So, what will be, or what will take its place? How do you see everything now? Have you realized it? Yes, about the expectations. If something remains, then what is it that remains? If it's gone, then how will things actually be now? And turning to your part, what does she really need now? What does your part of the psyche truly need and want? Let it share. Let it tell you what it truly wants, your happiness. That means what it wants and what it feels is also what you need, and you feel the same. If you allow this, if you let it into your life, what do you feel? Mhm. And in fact, the question arises, yeah, how can you bring this to life? Make it a reality. What do you need for this? Where can you start? Excellent, my dears. If you, Tomaya, and your part are ready to accept each other, you can unite. into a single whole. How do you feel now? Has your focus shifted? Maybe now you see something differently. Thank you, my dears, for this practice, for your work. This is where our practice will end. And please share what happened for you, how the process went.